Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the Marvel Universe Mystique, which is possibly one of the harder figures to find in the line without some sort of a paint flaw. Mostly because of the blue shading they apply to the white portions, but I'll be covering that more in depth in a few minutes. Now, Mystique was one of the figures I was more looking forward to in the line, just because I wasn't all that impressed with the Marvel Legends release for the character, and I've always kind of liked this one. Although I guess, she's more of a supporting role villain in most cases. A little bit of a read up here. Hold on a second and I'll get her pack. Mystique comes with a stand, rifle, as well as one of those top secret folder things they discontinued. Which includes the card scene here, which is kind of nice art and stuff. I really wish they'd opt for a different backdrop. Just kind of a lazy cop out with info on the back, and then a letter portion, which again, I guess is kind of a neat toss in, but most of us just kind of toss that stuff out immediately. Actually, I do usually end up saving them, but that's neither here nor there. What's here right now is Mystique. Now, when I was talking about the paint errors, there's several things that you'll probably encounter if you're looking for this one in stores. This is probably the least egregious of them, but one arm here is white, other arm here has the blue portions, which is a kind of common error, and that one didn't bother me as much. The ones that kind of annoyed me were a lot of the figures would have the shading on one breast, but not on the other. There's just like a spot, just not done. For example, see here where, just one whole side of the body just didn't get the shading, but the other side did, which is kind of weird. This was a placeholder one that I bought in case I couldn't find a better version, by the way. And by the time that you're actually watching this video, I probably already returned it, but, you just really have to be kind of careful when you're picking these up. Although you might not have the luxury of being choosy, given the fact that they can be kind of hard to find in stores. The other sort of issue I noticed was this weird glue or paint residue or something, which occasionally would show up on one of the legs, and sometimes it would be on the arm. I'm not even sure what that is or why there'd be so many weird production errors with this, but whatever. Quality control just really isn't up there. Now, the figure itself is pretty neat. Obviously, it's a retool of the standard, or recycle, not even a retool of the standard Marvel Universe female figure body with some new parts added on in the form of this cool, I don't know what you'd call it, I guess it's kind of a skirt or something, and, a new head sculpt and stuff. Of course, she also has, a finger for the gun. And by the time that you're watching this video, I probably already returned that one. Now, you just have to be really careful when you're looking at these to find which one's possibly the best one, although, granted, you don't always have the luxury of being that picky. Now, the other error that I occasionally see with some of them is just this weird plastic residue on either one of the legs. I'm not even sure what the heck that was supposed to be, whether it's just paint or melted whatever. Or, I don't know. It's just kind of mind-boggling that you'd have so many weird production errors associated with this one figure. In all other regards, it is a pretty nice-looking figure, though. Obviously, it's a recycle of the Marvel Universe female mold. We do have a unique piece here in the form of the skirt, the little skulls and stuff carved on, which is really neat. And then, of course, a completely new head sculpt. Now, the body itself, you'll notice, is kind of a white portions for the costume. Then they use this sort of obnoxious blue highlight, which I'm not exactly fond of, although, it does give some definition to the costume and everything. The only issue is they never bother painting the hands for these, or the feet. Typically it's just straight molded plastic, so you have this really white portion for the gloves. or the top of the gloves here, and then as the gloves go on, they get all sorts of shading, which is kind of messed up and stuff. She does, of course, have the trigger finger for one of the hands, so she can kind of use the gun. Now, rather than giving her a rifle, I really would have preferred to see her dual-wield pistols or something, because that's more the look I'm kind of associated the character with from her appearances in both the animated series and a few of the games. Then, of course, you'll notice that, the costumes just like this painted on, sort of like leotard or whatever. Which, is something that they typically do. It kind of sucks, because I do like seeing some of the material and stuff to differentiate from where the costume ends and the flesh begins, but, it's kind of like a cost-saving whatever. And of course, if you pull up the skirt, you can kind of see what I mean, where it's kind of like a unitard. Ooh, gratuitous shots. And again, down at the boot, it's just painted on and everything. Which, is kind of disappointing, but whatever. You'll also notice that the boot design, just isn't exactly even, which always kind of annoys me a little bit. Quick run through of articulation, pretty standard for a female Marvel Universe figure, but we have a point of rotation at wrist, single jointed elbow, ball jointed shoulder, no bicep joint because they don't do those for this line, at least not for the female figures. Head only rotates and it barely does that. By the way, the head does look a little bit small for the body. I don't know if it's just me or if everybody also kind of sees that, but, whatever, it's not a huge deal. We have this torso joint here, which has a really good range of motion. Up, forward, everything. Then we have the waist as well. Legs are on physical balls. Double pin joints at knee. And then at the ankle we have the ball and socket. Now, there's actually not a tremendous amount to say about this figure. If you're familiar with the character, you'll probably want to end up picking this one up. Figure-wise, it's a pretty good representation and everything. But again, it's just a standard use body and then new head sculpt and everything. Also, you just can't really make out as much of the facial features just due to the dark color and stuff. Which, is, I guess, kind of a nuisance. But yeah, this has been a look at the Marvel Universe Mystique. Again, decent figure, not a tremendous amount to say about it, although I'm sure this video has run on for quite a bit now.